Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Motorsports 360. We're back in your life. It's Marty. Hope you're having a great day. February 22nd, 2018. I'm stuffed up. I don't care. I'm doing this show for the heck of it. You hear any background noise? My friends are playing Madden out in the living room right now, but we got a show to do. For right now, we got two people on. Should have three in a moment. We got Michael Kelly
Good evening.
and we got Cody Smart.
Yes, hello YouTube. How's it going today?
So
Yeah, that's
this
it for
is
me for now.
so this feels very weird. Not only do we have no race recaps, we also have no headlines.
It was a
Like,
slow week.
like the only big thing that came out was Cole Custer going to Rick Ware Racing in Las Vegas for the 51, but we already covered that on Tuesday. But right now we'll just do some talking. So anyway, what have you guys been up to this week?
School, man. Just grinding it out. 2 more
No,
months.
it's been a busy week for me. I'll tell you that. Monday was President's Day. I wanted to do a game, like a high school game for my radio station, like cover it, not like call a game, but like cover it. But it's President's Day, obviously. Tuesday and Thursdays I'm busy because those are my late classes. Then I do the show. I wanted to do something Wednesday because that's the best time I can do it. However, though, I had something else going on. It was townhome selection night. I got my townhome got the same townhome in the same for next year, next semester, I should say. Or well, yeah, it is next year. And I'm doing this today. Tomorrow, I can't do anything because it's my radio station report. So I'm doing something Saturday afternoon. But yeah, that's how busy life is for me, especially during the night times. Daytime is always classes, and between classes, it's either homework or play some supercross.
Yeah.
Yeah, busy being a college student. It's fun.
Hello.
Yep. Justin has arrived.
Yep. Sorry, my apologies. Wasn't paying
You're good.
attention.
You're good, bro. Anyway, Justin, what have you been up to? What have you been up to this week? All we've been just talking about is just random things because we have no headlines or race recaps.
Well, here's a headline for you. Jimmy John's is not renewing their contract with Kevin Harvick after this season.
Oh. It's okay. Subway's better.
No, it's really not okay because we can't keep losing sponsors.
Yeah. I think they'll get Subway back in to NASCAR and they'll move to Stewart-Haas Racing because who used to be sponsored by Subway? Tony Stewart.
Yeah, Tony and Carl.
And Daniel Suarez.
Don't mention that. Don't mention that. We're not going to mention it.
Duncan, yeah. Did we report on Ross Chastain?
He's driving for
Premium.
Yes, with low T centers. Sponsor. Hey Julius, he's on the pole position today in the chat. How are you doing today? Have you guys watched that hockey game overnight?
No.
No,
I don't. Stay in Canada. Oh, that was brilliant. That was a great game. No, I actually decided to wear my USA soccer jersey to celebrate USA getting the gold medal. What a matchup that was. And the U.S. actually has a chance at another gold medal tonight. In men's curling, they take on Sweden. And I'm not going to be watching that because here's the thing. I have to get up at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. Tuesday and Thursday I can sleep in. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday I have to get up at 8 a.m. Because of classes. So I don't think it'll be a good idea to stay up, especially if it's going to be at 1:30 a.m. That's South Korea. That's what you got to deal with there.
Mm-hmm. So what was your guys' opinion on the first Radioactive of the year?
It was good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I agree that MTJ got Radio Sweetheart.
Yeah. Basically won it by a ton. By over 90%.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I wasn't a big fan of it.
Really?
Well, I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of radio chatter from the race and from some of the drivers. There's a lot that I feel like was left out. I mean, maybe just wasn't anything interesting said, but I mean, when you got a minute and a half of just like victory lane stuff, if it's not like a championship race or something like that, or a playoff race, I get that the 500, but I mean, you have a minute and a half, almost 2 minutes. Austin Dillon and Victory Lane and the whole Dale Earnhardt and 20 years since thing, and it's just I feel like that was overplayed a little bit too much, and I can't NBC would have done if they were covering this race. I mean, they would have been all over that adversity and all over that 20 years ago today thing and
Well, how about
years
this,
ago.
actually? I don't know if you guys heard this, but a fan met Austin Dillon and said, I don't have a favorite driver. And Austin said, well, if I give you my hat and I sign it, will I be your favorite driver? He's like, yep. And so he gives the hat to him. Then the next day, he sees him again, goes over to him, and he gives him a penny.
Oh, yeah.
Heads up. So they glue it to the car, and what happens? Austin Dillon wins Daytona, just like what happened with Dale.
Yeah, see, that was pretty cool, but just I don't think you need to get into radioactive because radioactive is supposed to, you're supposed to hear what the drivers are saying, and you're supposed to hear a radio chatter. And all we saw in the last part of that video was Austin Dillon and Dale Earnhardt stuff, and they've already reported that on enough this week. I feel like.
Well, what's the bigger story, though? Austin Dillon win the Daytona 500 or Bubba Wallace finishing second?
It's still Dillon winning the 500 just because it's.
I wouldn't say that. I'd say Bubba.
No.
Yeah.
It's big. It's going to be like one of the only times in history that we'll remember who finished second in the Daytona 500, but you always remember the winner of the Daytona 500. So Dillon is just, if you're the winner, you're the bigger story automatically. But Bubba finishing second is still going to be something that people talk about for a long time.
Did you guys see what he wore on Monday on Live with Kelly and Ryan?
No, I didn't see
It was that three-piece red suit. He's worn it before. It's got like the white shirt as well with that like fake black tie on it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Holy crap. Ugliest suit I've ever seen.
Hmm.
His wife, by the way, my aunt, who works at Saks Fifth Avenue in New York City, she actually picked out the clothes that Austin Dillon's wife wore in New York City.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. And she picked Denny Hamlin's clothes for like an interview or something like that when he won the Daytona 500 in 2016.
That's pretty cool.
So, yeah. All right, everyone. We're going to end. Or do you guys want to keep talking? You guys want to move on to discussion time or keep talking?
I don't know. What do you guys
We
think?
got to face something now here because we're not going to make 60 minutes tonight. I'll guarantee you that.
Oh, yeah.
Are we really out of ideas?
I'm trying to think
I thought you
here.
said there were more discussion questions that you
have any
wanted
of you guys
to
played the
do with
Supercross
us.
game yet?
Supercross? Not really.
Oh my gosh. Dude, that's a fun game. I've been playing the past few days. Holy cow. Especially the custom tracks. Whoo, boy. People make them go throughout the entire football field. Okay, now I got nothing else to talk about. All right.
Unless you want news from other sports, then I really got nothing.
Then I got nothing either. I was in snowcross in Salamanca over the weekend, and my boy Cody Cam swept the weekend. We start editing hopefully tonight. How about the truck number 2018 folding? Oh, man. Didn't really fold. I would say they technically like ended their business or their volunteer business. FDNY Racing, that's gonna be a team we're gonna miss, man. With the 28 volunteer community in honor of like 9/11, what happened then?
Right.
They had a good. I think didn't they have like a good practice run, something like that? They were like 7th in practice for Daytona.
I can't really remember.
I don't know. All right, everybody. So anyway, we got a few questions for discussion time tonight. We got a few things we got to cover that we forgot to cover on Tuesday. If you want to be a part of the show, go to Google Hangouts and send me a message saying that you want to be a part of the show and what you want to talk about. You don't want to be on the show and call in, go to the YouTube chat. Julius Anderson's doing it right now. He's the only guy that's been sending messages all day long today. Anyway, we didn't talk about any of our Xfinity Series discussion time questions. So let's get right into it. The first question is about the photo finish we have between Tyler Reddick and Elliott Sadler. Will we ever see a close finish like that ever again? We'll go to Michael first.
Yes, I do think we'll see another close finish like that, but will we ever see a closer one than that? I don't know. The circumstances have to be just perfect for that to happen, just like it did this past weekend in Daytona.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. You really can't say with that finish. It doesn't get closer than that. I mean, it was only a tie. I mean, actually, it was closer because if you look at the cup between Bubba Wallace and Denny Hamlin coming to the start-finish line, that was pretty close. I mean, that was probably...
Yeah, that was for the win. That would have been up there.
That could have been 2 10,000ths of a second. But
yeah. We won't know, though. We won't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
True.
probably the closest finish for second in NASCAR history. I can say that I saw that live, so that's pretty cool. But, yeah, the circumstances had to be just right, like it was on Saturday. And I'm looking forward to see if we have any more close finishes like that this year.
All right, let's go to you, Cody.
I am really impressed with the finish in the Xfinity Series. Like, how much closer can you possibly get than less than 1,000th of a second? I mean, we never in the history of NASCAR have seen any closer of a finish than in the Truck Series in 1995 when it was finished by 1/1000th of a second. And that was pretty close. Ever since then, we had a handful of like 2 1,000ths of a second, 3 1,000ths of a second. But then to have NASCAR that take quite a while to determine the interval between first and second place. I mean, man, that has got to be amazing. It'll certainly go down in NASCAR history for sure.
Not only NASCAR history, but I think motorsports history, because I think the Guinness Book of World Records, the closest one that's recorded is 5 10,000ths, and we were 4 10,000ths.
Well, it definitely beats IndyCar, I'll tell you that. I don't think it beats NHRA.
No. I think their closest one is like 1 10,000th or something like that. I'm not really sure.
NHRA, I believe, is like 0.0000. I think it went down to 100,000. There was a top fuel race down in 2016 that was super close.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't even tell it with your eye. It had to come down to timing.
Yeah, it isn't recorded though. So if we wanted our finish recorded, then we could be the closest finish in motorsports history.
Yeah. Let's see here.
I
think we'll. I don't think we'll. We got to go to Justin. Justin?
Yeah, what?
You're up.
At the finish, honestly, we'll probably never get that close ever again. I mean, that's honestly surprising that the finish this past weekend was closer to the Darlington one, because if you think of it, it doesn't look that close if you kind of look at the photo. You think of that.
Mm-hmm.
It looks
Yeah.
kind of looks like about maybe 0.005 of a second, but I just honestly can't believe it was that close.
Well, a couple things you got to take into consideration with that. They were going a lot faster than they were at Darlington,
Yeah,
and they were kind of beating and banging coming to the line,
Yeah.
so they weren't up to full speed.
Yeah.
When they were probably going 190 plus coming to the line. So
yeah, makes sense.
Kelvin,
It's Calvin.
Yeah.
how was Applebee's?
It was all right.
Were you eating good
Did
in
you
the
get thrown out?
neighborhood?
I didn't get anything good in the neighborhood besides a couple of adult cocktails.
After pay respects.
Did you get thrown out?
No, I wish. Would have been worth it.
I get what he's talking about. But Kelvin, we're talking about the Xfinity Series finish between Tyler Reddick and Elliott Sadler. Do you think we'll ever see a close finish like that ever again?
Well, you can never say never, so eventually you'll eventually see one. I think you might see, will it be 0.0004 seconds? Yeah, I think you're going to eventually see one that's 0.0001. That's just how it's going to happen.
I think we'll see it happen in the future. We'll have cars getting faster, in my opinion. And I believe if we have a photo finish like that, NASCAR will take their timing system to the 10,000s in every single race. Hey, who knows? We could have a closer finish than Tyler Reddick and Elliott Sadler.
It'll happen. It's a matter of time.
Yep, absolutely. Let's go to the other thing that happened in the Xfinity Series race, and that was how many overtimes we had. 5 attempts at overtime. Should we go back to an overtime limit in NASCAR, or did you like what we saw? Kelvin, you're up.
You gave the fans exactly what they wanted. They want to see a finish. They don't want to see a caution finish. They don't want to see
That's right.
cars going 55 miles an hour across the start-finish line. They don't want to see that. So, granted, yeah, sure, it took 5 extra freaking overtimes and 16 extra laps in the Daytona race that they had there. So, I mean, if you got rid of that overtime line, Casey Kane won it by an overtime line last year, so I guess it's kind of like, oh, well, Kane won it because of the overtime line. But he was far enough ahead of it to begin with that I don't think anybody was catching him at that point, even if the overtime line wasn't a thing. But no, NASCAR got it right. They gave the fans back what they wanted. They hated the overtime line.
All right, Cody.
What was the question?
Should we go back to an overtime limit in NASCAR?
An overtime limit in NASCAR? Well, it definitely varies. Like remember the ARCA Series race where they had like a bunch of attempts at overtime, and then as well in the Xfinity Series, a bunch of attempts in overtime. Well, I want to relate back to an online series I'm doing with a couple guys. It's called the NRLA John Deere Online Cup Series that ran by one of my good friends of mine, Nathan Stapleton, giving him some credit. So here's what we do. There was one race, and it was the Daytona 500, and we took 5 overtime attempts. We were a little bit tired of seeing wreck after wreck after wreck in the late running. We just decided to have our max amount of overtime attempts to be 5. So that's why I'm going to suggest that we should have up to 5 attempts at overtime, not 3 in case we have a wreck fest, but 5. I think we can guarantee ourselves that we can go no more than 5 overtime attempts.
Okay. Justin.
What was the question? I'm sorry. I'm not paying attention.
Darn, you guys need to listen.
Was
Should
it
we go back to an overtime limit in NASCAR?
Absolutely not. I mean, overtime line kind of ruins it. Think of it. Like, these unlimited attempts, we can have great finishes again. Like, as long as they don't make it to the white flag. But hey, still better than overtime line. Still better.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'll give him credit.
And, all right.
The one smart thing Brian France has done.
All right. We cannot go back to unlimited attempts of overtimes. We unlimited attempts of overtimes, and we also need to bring as well what ARCA does, adopt that policy as well. If caution comes out on the final lap, you guys have to do it again. Keep it going. Do a one lap two until we get that checkered flag, so we can finish the race under green the entire time. My thoughts on it, Michael.
I feel like NASCAR fans can't make up their mind. That's what I think. Because, this whole deal started with Austin Dillon flipping him into the catch fence in 2015. And we said, oh, we got to put a stop to that. We can't have a car slipping into the catch fence and dying. And then we went to the deal with Harvick at Talladega, and we were like, well, that's stupid. Now drivers can cheat to make their way into the chase. They make their way further into the chase by just wrecking everyone if they have a problem. Well, we don't want that, all right? Well, then we're going to put an overtime line in. Well, no, because then you guys are just going to wait to throw out the caution when there's a wreck on the track to try and finish the race. And we saw that on multiple occasions. Well, now we want to go back to the system that we had. All right, we're going to put this overtime line back at the start-finish line, and we're going to have an unlimited amount of attempts. And then for the first time in a very, very long time, probably since that truck race at Phoenix or wherever it was, when they had 3 or 4 overtime attempts. And now people are saying, oh, now we got to go back to a maximum amount of attempts, 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever it may be. We need to stick with what we have. We need to have some sort of consistency. We can't keep changing the rules. We need to stick with this unlimited overtime attempt. This is what the fans want. They want to see the race finish under green conditions, and that's what they got. I don't get why people are complaining about it, honestly. I mean, like Kelvin said, we got what we want. What's the problem here? What's the problem? I mean, yeah, it took a while, but you got to see a true winner instead of it entering under yellow. Not only that, you got to see the closest finish in NASCAR history. So, I don't know. We're fickle, I guess. I don't know.
Marty, can I say one more thing?
Go ahead.
People are complaining because of the start times. Maybe we go back to the original start time and people don't complain.
Hang on, easy. We're talking about that later on.
Well, it makes a good point for this one. Go back to your original start time and your 5 overtime law doesn't account no more.
Well,
Just
you
saying.
could go back to that, but the race still lasts just as long, even if it's under the lights or something like that, if that's what you're getting at. But the race is still just as long, so I don't get what an earlier start time would accomplish.
All right. Get to the next question here. Over to the truck series here. After one race, do you like the spec engine so far or no? Cody, you're up first. Cody? Okay, Justin.
What the? I didn't know my mic was off.
Why does this have to happen every time?
I'm taking my turn.
Cody's
All right, the spec engine. It's good. I mean, it was a good engine. I mean, the race was good until the end when they ran single file. But honestly, it was better than the duels and the clash. Think of that. So, engine was good. It was good. All right,
Cody, now you're up.
What was the question?
After one race, do you like the spec engine or no?
The spec engine, what kind of difference does it even have?
It's supposed to be like the same engine on every truck in the series.
Makes all the trucks equal, I'm pretty sure. Cody.
What? Oh, the spec engines. Like, I honestly don't know what the heck it is.
It's like it's like the exact same engine all the trucks have. So like you don't see
They're built
Toyota
by
making
NASCAR.
TRD engines for the truck series, Ford
Hmm.
making
Oh,
performance
yeah,
engines.
maybe. Well, maybe. So, okay. So about the spec engines, they haven't really proven a point yet, and here's why. So, as I'm doing multiple things at once, um, let's say that they'll start getting proven next week at Atlanta. Because when the Truck Series had those engines last year, they proved to be fun and it brought more entertaining racing and everything. So what I'm going to do is wait till this weekend at Atlanta to see if there's really a change in the competition.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I agree with you on that. That's what I was gonna say. For right now, I'm liking the spec engine, but the meat and potatoes of the series are 1.5 mile tracks and short tracks. After we get a few weeks into that, that's why I want to see how the spec engine is for the truck series. I'm giving you my thoughts. Hey DJ, how you doing? And yeah, Michael, now you're up.
Um, yeah, we've all been kind of saying it, but I think Atlanta is going to be the true test of how these spec engines are really going to work in the truck series. Uh, we saw how they're going to work on super speedways, faster tracks, and I think they're going to be good for the sport. Uh, good for the series. I mean, uh, we saw Jordan Anderson running up in the top 5,
Oh my
where he got
gosh.
spun out coming to the line, but he kept it off the wall, so he saved himself quite a bit of money by not wrecking the truck. But Atlanta will be the true test this weekend. I thought the race was fine, really, but it's kind of amazing how with us fans, how our opinion of a race can change, because they got single file at the end with 4 to go, 5 to go, or whatever it was, but they were still 3 wide coming off of turn 4 trying to win the race. So it was still a good race. The trucks were able to make moves. They were working the high line, they were working the low line, something that we haven't ever seen the trucks do, I don't think. So I think it's a sign of things to come. But Atlanta is the true test.
Yeah, I don't think it will be a test in my opinion. We'll get to that later on. Kelvin, you're up.
Sure, they work at a super speedway. Will they work at Atlanta? Hopefully not. I'm not a proponent of it. I think every team should be able to build their own engine and their own aero package. To begin with, that's what makes racing racing. You don't see them doing this on dirt tracks, etc., which is where this all NASCAR all started. And if I'm not mistaken, this is a test to see if they can incorporate it into the Xfinity Series and eventually the Monster Energy Cup Series into NASCAR so that it takes away less products from the team and more responsibility to NASCAR as a whole. But I really hope it fails out in the long run.
Is that my Perrier still on your dresser?
I told you, it hasn't moved since you were here.
Oh my gosh.
That's an interesting point you bring up, Kelvin. You know, it's good that we can still see manufacturers and teams build their own engines and try to find that competitive edge. I mean, we saw it with the Chevys in 2008, 2009, and now we're seeing it with the Toyotas. But I just think with these smaller teams, we need to be able to find a way to save them money so that we can get to a point where we have 40 competitive cars on the track at once. Because we only have 36, I think 37 now entered into the cup race, and I would give maybe 20 a legitimate shot of winning this race this weekend. So I feel like if this can move us into a direction of having 40 competitive cars that could win, maybe 20 different winners in a season, get us back to where we were in 2002, 2005 era, I think it would be a good thing. Maybe bring fans back, kind of give them a little bit of a taste of the old days.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Hang on a second. Just typing up the questions in the chat. All right. So now let's get to the questions we have headed into this weekend. First one, a lot of drivers, excuse me, have been saying don't repave Atlanta because the racing is awesome. This racing surface we have at Hotlanta has been it's pretty old, I'll tell you. And if we have that time, if we have that moment in the race where the concrete comes up on the racetrack, we're gonna have a problem. We're gonna have a red flag for like 1 hour to patch that racetrack up, and then we'll have to repave. So the question is, when should Atlanta be repaved? Justin, you're going first again. Justin?
Yes, hang on. I had to leave for a second. Heard something.
Okay.
I had a second. All right.
We'll go to Cody first then while we're waiting.
Yeah, go to Cody, please. Not really having a good night.
Cody?
Go to Kelvin first, actually.
Yes, Cody didn't.
Okay, Kirsten, I'm going first then. You two have wasted your time. You two lost your chance, so I'm going first. I would say, to be honest, as much as I hate to say this, repave Atlanta after the season.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
To avoid the risk of having the track come up, and if that track's all good to go after 2018, that track comes up in 2019, we still haven't repaved the thing, we'll be in trouble then. But yeah, I'd say repave it right now, and then once that's repaved, you have a testing session, both a Goodyear tire test and whatever else you want to do, and then maybe do a racing test as well. If there's no passing or very little passing going on, then put that sticky surface that we use at Bristol Motor Speedway onto what we have in Atlanta.
Oh, that would be awesome.
I think that makes the racing exciting. So yeah, Michael.
Yeah. Honestly, it should have been repaved last year. And my concern isn't the track coming up. My concern is the weepers, or whatever they're called, the little cracks where the water seeps through, and then
weepers.
Even longer rain. Yeah, weepers. The rain or the weather in Atlanta has been terrible. Oh, Cody left. The weather has been terrible. There's been a threat of rain for the past 3 or 4 years, I want to say.
Taking a look at the weather for Atlanta this weekend. Atlanta, Georgia. It's supposed to be raining on Sunday and Monday.
Yeah.
While we're at that, I want to go look at the weather in Tampa as well, because that's what Supercross is, and if they got rain Saturday night, never mind. All right, Calvin, you're up.
I wasn't done. But,
sorry.
Yeah, so you got the weepers. So at a track like Kentucky where it's freshly repaved, and let's say if it rains there, it'll take an hour to clean the track. Well, because of the weepers, it's going to take an hour and a half or 2 hours for the Atlanta race to get started again, because you're going to have that water that keeps seeping through. Mm-hmm. And if I'm being honest, the racing at Atlanta last year was not very good. I did not enjoy that race one bit.
Yeah, I didn't see it. Kelvin and I were on our way back from New York City that day.
If I remember correctly, the race was not very good. And before, everyone was saying don't repave it. The racing has been really good. And now everyone's saying, all right, maybe we should have repaved it because the racing really was not that good in 2017. I feel like we should have repaved it and started going through our growing pains with a newly repaved racetrack. And now we're going to have to wait even longer for that.
Okay. All right, let's go to Kelvin.
Number one, I've been a proponent of mile-and-a-half racetracks are boring to watch to begin with, no matter what track you go to, even at Hotlanta, as the drivers like to call it. Sure, they may think the racing's great. It's great for about 3 to 4 laps when they are side by side, and then they single file out. One person gets the 3.5-second lead, and it's boring to watch the rest of the way because nobody can close on them until caution comes out, or now the end of a stage comes out.
Good point.
It's really effing boring. Sorry for my language, but it's really boring. Every mile-and-a-half we go to is boring at some point or another.
It's boring.
And no offense, what did Watkins Glenry do just redo a couple years ago.
Repave?
Yeah,
They repaved Watkins Glen. And what has happened to the racing at Watkins Glen since the repave?
Not that good.
Bullshit. It's become exciting.
Well,
I go to Watkins Glen every year. It's become really exciting, especially with the top 3 or 4 cars that are there. So to say that repaving Atlanta would hurt it, it's only going to hurt it if you redo like what Bristol did, where they redid everything when they repaved Bristol. They increased the slope size, and it's been boring ever since at Bristol until they brought the tire drag in there, which is the compound Marty was talking about. Tire dragging with the NRH compound at Bristol has made the racing more exciting. You could do that at every racetrack, and you'd have more exciting racing.
Yeah.
All right. Justin, did you come up with an answer yet?
yeah. So, honestly, repaving the
Shut the light
track
up and lock the door.
could make the track better. Like, okay, how do I say this? Like, when they repaved Kentucky, I mean, the racing was good at Kentucky, right? I mean, when they repaved
Can you
Kentucky,
go liquor store too?
I mean, Kentucky's had great races.
Probably twice a day.
I mean, so if they repave Atlanta, it would be nice because, you know, Atlanta's got that high
Finishing
bacon,
off what's upstairs.
very fast track. So if they repave it, and then, like what you're talking about, Marty, put the tire rub on, the black tar tire, yeah, that will make it better. So I think they should repave it because it might actually help it make it better.
Okay.
That I want to go back to what Kelvin said because that was a good point. When they redid Bristol, it really ruined the racing there, and then they put the sticky stuff down and kind of put it back to the way Bristol used to be, and the racing was improved by a mile this past year. And I feel like the repave at Texas could have been really, really good, except they reconfigured the track. They reconfigured the turns, and now you can't pass because if you go above that bottom lane, then you're going to wreck.
Mm-hmm. So,
in my opinion, racing at Kentucky hasn't really ever been that good. But it's just, another example of a 1.5-mile cookie cutter. We need less of them. Come on now, NASCAR. But, yeah, as long as they don't reconfigure Atlanta with this new repave, I think they might be okay.
Okay. All right, so we got 2 questions left for you guys. The next question is about the field for Sunday's race. Will a field of 36 drivers, not the full 40, will a field of 36 drivers lessen your enjoyment of the race this weekend? Let's see here. Michael, you're first.
No, because those other 4 teams were probably just going to be making up the 37th to 40th positions for the rest of the race anyways. So it won't lessen my enjoyment at all. I mean, if they were competitive cars, then yeah, maybe a little bit. But honestly, like I said before, there's only 15 or 20 drivers that probably have a considerable chance of winning this weekend, whether it be with fuel strategy or some other kind of pit stop strategy with 2 tires or no tires, which you probably don't want to do at Atlanta anyways. But no, it won't lessen my enjoyment.
All right, Kelvin.
What was the question? Sorry, somebody text me.
Will a field of 36 lessen your enjoyment of the race this weekend?
No, it'll make it better because the bottom 10 cars at every track are usually cars that just run around waiting for people to wreck and see if they can get a little bit more money. So it's not going to affect my outcome at all whatsoever. I mean, as Michael said earlier, you usually have about 20 cars that have a legitimate chance at coming in to a racetrack with a chance to win it. So I would assume that that's still going to be the case with 37 cars at the racetrack this weekend coming in, that you're going to have 20 cars that may be able to come out the gate. But as you know, the story in NASCAR, they go around asking every crew who they think has the best chance to win, and they narrow it down to 3 to 4 cars that had the fastest car right out the get-go, the first lap of practice, which the first lap of practice is tomorrow at noon. So we'll find out tomorrow who the top 4 cars are, and those will be the top 4 cars you hear about all weekend.
All right. Justin?
I mean, kind of downsizing the cars kind of makes it better because, most of the drivers that run 30th or lower kind of are just the lap cars, usually wreck or just go slow. So, yeah, I think downsizing it might help it make it better. But, of course, you only have the top 10 that basically battle for the win. If you think of it, a mile and a half. So,
Okay.
it does make it better.
It will not lessen my enjoyment at all. My enjoyment will be the same because I will be rooting for my boy Ryan Blaney, and I just want to watch who's got the chance at winning the race and how Ryan Blaney's going to do. Here we got another call in here. Our usual call. One of our usual call-ins. It's a DJ. Hello, DJ. Oh, hang on a second. Hang on. I gotta change the speakers. All right, we got him now. What's up, DJ? What's on your mind?
I just want to talk about the 36 cars this weekend in Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series. Lessen my enjoyment.
Yes.
Because I mean, to me, racing is just racing, and it doesn't really change if you're just if there's just going to be 4 less cars than there usually is. I mean, it's really not going to lessen my enjoyment. Because if you're a big NASCAR fan, you shouldn't have your enjoyment lessened because many cars there are in a race.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I agree with you.
I'm going for Larson this week.
You're going for Larson? All right. That's not a bad.
He's one of my favorite driver. I mean, he's one of my favorite drivers.
Yeah, absolutely. I get what you're saying. But yeah, racing's racing.
Yeah.
Just focus on the race itself. Don't focus on the back markers in the field that are trying to ruin the front runner's race. Just focus up front.
If anything, this should make us concerned.
But I will be honest with you, Marty. I do like the underdogs. I mean, I was really happy to see one of my boys, Matt D, up in the front. I got
me too.
Him when I went to Auto Club.
Bro, I thought he was gonna win that race for a moment. With 3 to go, right in 3rd position, I was thinking to myself, "Holy crap, Matt DiBenedetto could win the Daytona 500."
Yeah, it sucks that he wrecked.
I don't know if you might be talking about.
Got wrecked. He didn't wreck. He got wrecked.
Yeah, he got wrecked.
Talk about my thoughts and my opinion on the 500 finish.
Oh, absolutely. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, my thoughts on the 500 finish. Oh my gosh. I mean, I'm happy for Dylan. Don't get me wrong. I like the guy. I got his autograph too when I went to Auto Club. He's a good guy. But I wasn't really happy with the finish. I thought he could have raced him better than he did. Almirola, I mean, I'm a fan of Almirola. That would have been cool to see him win his first race at Stewart Haas Racing. And to be honest, that was a hard hit. I mean, there might have been a chance that it could have ended his career.
Yes, that's right. Well, Eric Almirola, whichever lane was faster, he was going to go to the faster lane. The high line was the faster lane, and Austin Dillon, he was not laying off that gas because on the final lap of the Daytona 500, you do not let off the gas. Austin Dillon may have even got to the inside. Almirola would try to block. Who knows? Almirola may have spun out had Austin Dillon decide to go to the inside because we saw those cars get arrow loose when they just got to the inside of them. But yeah. Congrats to Austin Dillon, though. I have no problem with the movie made.
But I cannot wait for the more to come this season. This is going to be a great season. I feel that we've already had some great finishes. Underdog runners, Jordan Anderson finishing 5th.
Yeah. Well, no, he got 9th.
My bad.
But yeah.
Still, it's not that bad. It's still top 10.
But yeah, I think it's going to be a great season for NASCAR. In my opinion, this could be one of our best seasons to date. All right, thank you very much, DJ, for checking in. Appreciate it, as always.
You're welcome.
All right.
We're not even a race 2, and we already have a crap ton of drama.
Yes, that's right. All right, one more question for you, then we're going to head on to the predictions. The final question. The race is at 2 o'clock. This is the earliest start time we have all season long after the Daytona 500, if I am correct. Are you okay with 2 p.m. start times? Justin, I want to start off with you first. Yeah. However, though, I want to get to Kelvin because he's got a take on this.
Yeah, but I'm happy with it. You know, it's nice.
Kelvin's up.
No, let Justin go. Trust me, you're going to want to hear this.
All right. Justin, you're up then.
Yeah, I'm happy with it because, you know, it's nice and early. You know, it's in the middle of the afternoon, pretty much nothing to do. So I'm perfectly fine with 2 p.m. start times.
Okay. I have no opinion on it, in my opinion. I'm not for or against it.
Let me go.
Just focus on the racing. Yeah, Kelvin really wants to talk about this. He wants to go last badly. Michael.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat, Marty. Don't really have an opinion on it, whether the race starts at 2 a.m., 11 p.m., 3 p.m., 2 p.m., 10 a.m., whatever. I'm going to watch the race regardless. I'm going to find a way to watch it. So just, you know, NASCAR, give me the time of the race. I'll watch it. I'm a loyal fan. I don't care that. I'm not worried about what time it starts. I'm worried about the product put on the track.
All right. Okay. I'm going to shut up. I'm going to leave the camera, present to everyone. Kelvin, it's all yours, buddy. You're front and center right now. This is all you.
Okay, Michael, let me ask you a question. You just went to the Daytona 500. What day did you get there?
I got there Sunday morning.
Okay, well, you don't work out in this equation, but when I go to Watkins Glen, I get there Wednesday morning at 7:30 as soon as gates open for camping. They open at 7:30 in the morning, Wednesday morning. That is 5 days before race day, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, wait, I'm not mistaken because that's Sunday afternoon.
Quick maths.
So any other racetrack that races on a Sunday, unless you're racing on Saturday, you're opening on Tuesday because you get 5 days of camping, depending on what track you're at, which I go to Bristol every summer. So that's in August. That's a night race. They race on a Saturday. I get there on a Wednesday night, watch the haulers come in Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Don't go to the truck race, though. But so if you're going to tell me right now, fans have to stay an extra couple of hours at a racetrack that go to work on a Monday. So they take off Tuesday because they usually have to drive down there Wednesday. You want them to take an extra day off of work because God forbid it rains that day and almost every track has lights now. They could have a night race. Your fans in the stands are staying there. Your fans are going home. I went home 2 summers ago when Bristol got rained out, stayed Monday night, stayed Sunday night, Saturday night for the race on Sunday morning at 11, which NASCAR knew wasn't going to happen because the weather forecast predicted rain all the way until 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Sunday afternoon. But let's schedule the race for 11. Granted, there was a window break between 9 to 1 o'clock in the afternoon where it might not rain. But we're still going to start at 11. 5 minutes before drivers get called to their cars, what happens? It rains again. All right, I leave, get stuck in traffic an hour and a half down the stretch. Race gets going. I listened to the race 3 hours away from the racetrack by the time it got started. If you're NASCAR, you have to be smart. You need to start your races at noon for the people who actually have to go to work no matter what time the race happens on a Sunday afternoon. Not everybody has the luxury of taking 6-7 days off of work. You have to accommodate your fans. And trust me, Watkins Glen had this issue happen this year where people left 20 minutes after the start of the race because it happened at 3 o'clock. The race started at 3 in New York on the East Coast, started at 3. That's awful when you have 120,000 fans there and 20% of your fan base is leaving 20 minutes after the race starts because they have to go to work the next day. NASCAR fans aren't like NBA fans where they can travel and go do all that stuff. NASCAR fans are the most loyal fans you're ever going to see. Change your start times back to 12:30, 1 o'clock, and this isn't an issue. It's just awful. It cuts back on the races people can go to. Like, think about it. You're taking an extra day off. Oh, I can't go to that race. Like, sure, they can go to that race, but they can't go to a Sunday race because they had to take an extra day off for the hometown track to go to another race that they would normally go to. That's just something that happens. Like you got NASCAR said, use their head. They don't use their head when it comes to fan participation and fan consideration, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. Take another sip of that beer, Kelvin. Take another sip.
I got more. It's okay. I had a heated discussion with Marty about this earlier.
You deserve
Okay.
that, buddy.
I think we're done here. Good night, everyone. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, really. You know, when me and Marty say that we don't really have an opinion, that's just two of us saying, you know, we don't care what time the race is going to start. But you bring up a really good point, Kelvin, and honestly, I think by saying that, you represent a much larger majority of NASCAR fans. And I'm Kelvin 2020. I'm voting for you.
Trust me. I will watch religiously. Trust me, I watch religiously no matter what time it starts. After work, it's recorded so I can watch the beginning. But I'm looking at every other fan that may not be like me, the fan that has to leave early because they have to work on Monday and they want to get home and they can get home before the end of the race so they can get to a local restaurant an hour or so away from their house and watch the end of the race.
And you know, it may not be
on every TV.
It may not be work either. They may have young children that they want to bring to the race. Well, they got school the next day. You know, you're bringing them to a race that starts later. Well, eventually you got to leave because they have a bedtime, they have a schedule they got to keep up with. They got to be able to be refreshed and ready for a week of school.
Exactly, and you look at the campers. The campers, trust me, I camp every time at Watkins Glen. We don't pick up before the race starts. We pick up after the race is over. Like, that's another hour, 2 hours after the race is over that you're picking up and hoping that traffic by that point is gone. But when you have 100,000 people at Watkins Glen, that's not the case. Traffic doesn't clear out like that, especially when it's on the hill. You have 4 ways to get off that hill, and all 4 ways are usually blocked off for a good 4 hours.
Man, Watkins Glen has got to be bad. I mean, you got the grandstands and the infield sold out every year. That's got to be awful.
The grandstand seating is not the worst part. It's just getting out of the campsite. The campsites are like you're in the infield, like in the campsite, you're on the infield. Now they added this new camping section, which is it's called glamping. Like, I don't know if you guys ever heard the term. It's literally where like Watkins Glen is set up luxurious campsites. You have a queen size bed, you have a toilet and a sink and a shower, all inside your little makeshift tent that they're providing for you. It's crazy. Like, they've added that to Watkins Glen.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
Yep. Okay. So now we've got that all said and done. Let's get to the predictions for this weekend's race. We're going to start things off, as always, with the Truck Series race happening at Atlanta Motor Speedway. This is Saturday night. Well, it's late Saturday afternoon, if I am correct. Let me load up my TV race. So that's how I get my racing schedules for the weekend. Truck Series, main page. I thought I saw Michael Turner's webcam on for a moment. All right, where is it? Yes. 4:30 p.m. is the race on FS1. And let's get to the notable entries. We've got, as I load it up now. Come on, load up.
Do we even need to get to notable entries? I think all we need to know is that him is in the race.
Yeah, I think that's all we need to know, to be honest. And, Joe Nemechek's in the 8. Let's see. I think that's all we have.
Yep. Hang on. Hang on.
Yeah. That's all we need to know is that him is in the 4, the only Cup regular in the Truck Series. All right, getting to the predictions here. Justin, you're up first. Who wins the Atlanta Active Pest Control 200? Justin? Polar Bear. Kelvin?
As much as I want to say him, I'm going against him because I'm tired of seeing him win every week that he's in a truck car.
Ooh.
Matt Crafton gets it done and beats him.
Boy.
Almost won that race in 2016, but got taken out of that wreck from on Daniel Suarez and Christopher Bell. All right, Michael, give it to me.
Ladies and gentlemen, I couldn't think of a better week to bring back the cardboard cutout.
Yes.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
What a
I
better
figured it was coming, though.
Wait, who's on the right? Who's on the right? Is that Gallagher?
Oh yeah, we got
That's-
Chase.
Oh, that's
Chase and Dale.
When we went to Charlotte in
Chase and
October,
Dale.
we went to
You
Hendrick
got, you
shop.
got your girl with you?
Yeah, she's over here. Well,
You
she's
got
kinda-
Danica, even though he hates her?
she's
No,
kinda-
she got someone else.
We're running out of room. She's kind of stuffed back there, and Matt retired, so he's over here, and then Harvick and
Wait, who is she?
That's the
Light-
girl.
Light.
Remember they had the chorus light pole girl?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
and then Jeff, and then Jimmy.
Oh,
Blair.
8-time.
Blair.
Man.
And then Junior.
I used to have a cutout of Jeff Burton when he drove in the Wheaties car, but I threw that
I
out.
remember that car. The orange and white car driving around.
Yeah. But I'm gonna go with the theory of Mr. Kelvin. I'm actually gonna go with his same pick as well. I'm gonna pick Matt Crafton to win it. I like his style. I think Crafton can get it done. But the question is, though, he's got a Ford. He used to drive a Toyota. Is that going to be a big difference? Crafton can't win it. I'm picking him.
You know, fun fact about that Jeff Burton car, the
You have a
orange and,
diecast?
the orange and blue or white one that you guys were talking about.
The Wheaties.
Oh, the Wheaties one.
Yeah.
Oh, well, Wheaties, but it was his AT&T car. They had a show car that was brought to Florida, and that was the first NASCAR race car that I saw in person.
Nice.
So yeah, there's your fun fact of the day.
Cool beans. All right, let's get to the Xfinity Series race at Atlanta. This one is in the early afternoon. 2 o'clock is the race, also on FS1. Here are the entries you got to know of. We have a driver swap, by the way. Matt Mills to the 0, Garrett Smithley to the 15 for the next 2 races. Ty Dillon will pilot the 3. Austin Cindric will drive the 12 as he's competing full-time Rookie of the Year honors. Kyle Benjamin will drive the 18. Joey Logano in the 22.
So there goes 2 of the 8-10 races that Joey Logano can drive in the Xfinity Series.
John Hunter Nemechek in the 42. Chase Briscoe in the 60. Oh, yeah. By the way, guys, fun fact of the day. The crew chief, by the way, the 60 is Motorsports 360's own Michael Kelly.
Nice.
Like, I'm not joking. It literally says Michael Kelly on the crew chief lineup.
I made the big time, guys.
Congratulations. We're proud of you.
Let us know sooner and get us free tickets.
And then it's about time you're back, you dilly.
Dilly. Yes, huge internet problems.
And
Correct.
then Kevin Harvick, by the way, is in the 98. So your picks to win the Xfinity Series race, Justin. Justin?
It still disappeared.
Oh, my gosh. Cody, give me your Xfinity pick and then give me your truck pick.
Okay, Xfinity pick, I am going to say Christopher Bale. Truck pick, because of Ben Rose Kuchu getting suspended, I'm stuck between 2 drivers, but I feel like Kyle Busch is going to overpower the Kuchu suspension theory anyway. Oh, never mind him.
Cody. Watch your
What?
language. We don't say that name.
Okay,
I'm
it's
just
between
kidding.
him and
There you go.
Ben Rhodes. So, but unfortunately, I think him is going to overpower the crew chief suspension theory. So I have to say him.
Okay. Kelvin, your Xfinity pick.
I'm going with local hometown hero boy as the crew chief of this guy. From Arkport, New York, the crew chief is. Can you name that crew chief?
Michael Kelly?
No, you're not from Arkport.
Okay.
You're not from Arkport. Go ahead, Marty. I dare you to Google it.
Do you really dare me to Google it?
Google Xfinity Series crew chief from Arkport, New York. Now you will have my answer.
Series crew
Because
chief,
Marty wants to Google it because he doesn't believe me.
Arkport, New York.
What name pops up on there, Marty?
Is it the crew chief of the number 23?
You'd be wrong.
That's the first thing that popped up, Chad Norris.
Jason Burdett is this person's crew chief.
Okay.
That would be Justin Allgaier in the number 7.
Now I see it. Oh my gosh. I
Done
didn't
this
even look
week.
at the bottom of the screen.
Hometown local boy gets it done in Atlanta this weekend. Justin Allgaier.
I am
Jason
going
Burdett
to
is crew.
pick. Who am I going to go with, by the way? You know what? I say Stewart Haas Racing gets their second Xfinity Series win. I'm going to pick Kevin Harvick to win it.
I can't pick
down between him and Christopher Bell. That's what I think. All right. Now we get to the Cup Series race.
First, you get to my pick.
You forgot Michael there, Marty.
Oh, I forgot Michael. Oh my gosh, I forgot about Michael.
You're already in mid-season form. Forgetting Michael.
Yeah, well, that's okay.
Mid-season 3.
Okay, so I'm going to do the winner of the race and the highest finishing Xfinity driver of the race.
So you're
Which
saying
probably
the Cup
helps.
driver's going to win the Xfinity race?
Yeah, I was going to say that probably helps narrow it down to who I'm going to pick, and I'm going with Joey Logano. But I agree with Kelvin. I believe that the highest finishing Xfinity driver will be Justin Allgaier.
Okay, now we get to the Cup race. Nobody picked Austin Dillon, if I'm correct.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that was a long shot, by the way. Let me look at the odds, by the way. Make the pick.
Pretty sure nobody picked Almirola, Bubba Wallace, Matt DiBenedetto.
Let me take
whoever
a
was
look.
Besides Hamlin and Logano, anyone who was at the in the race at the end, I don't think any of us picked them.
I'm sorry. At Daytona, I always pick my driver because I think he's going to win no matter what. So I can tell you right now, I picked Casey Kane.
All right. The odds for Austin Dillon to win that race, by the way, were 44-1, I believe. It was a plus 4,400 odds. Let me look at the other site I had.
Well, I picked Chase Elliott, and unfortunately, he almost died. So,
yeah, Austin Dillon was a 50-1 long shot at winning. Bubba Wallace, let me find him. He was a 100-1 shot at winning. Eric Almirola was 50-1 at winning. Denny Hamlin, by the way, who was up there, he had 12-1 at winning. And I'll mention this as well. The 4 favorites in that race, Kyle Larson, Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch, Chase Elliott, all wrecked in that race.
Don't worry.
I think
surprise.
I think Cody picked Keselowski, but I don't remember.
Yeah.
No, for the Daytona 500, I picked Ryan Blaney.
Okay. Sorry, those are the odds.
Oh,
this
wow,
week.
you were actually pretty close, Cody.
Hang on. Okay, so my odds originally were correct, by the way. Austin Dillon was 44-1. Bubba Wallace was 66-1. Who else? Eric Almirola was 32-1. Denny Hamlin, by the way, was 10-1 at winning.
All right. So what's the picks this week, fellas? Who's in last place?
Who are we gonna go with for Atlanta? Justin's up.
All right, Atlanta predictions. I'm just gonna say this: Ben Rhodes, Justin Allgaier, and let me think. I'm gonna say Kyle Busch.
Okay. Cody.
For the Atlanta pick, I think the Ford's going to do it, and I think he's going to get redemption from last year. Kevin Harvick wins.
Son of a bitch!
Oh my gosh, are you kidding
I
me?
flippin' had him!
I had him too.
Oh, no!
Look at this. I had him all ready to go.
Oh my gosh, I forgot to. Oh crap, I didn't know we had to. I
You
didn't
do
know
know
we
you can
had
pick
to do it.
whatever you want, right?
Cody, I've had this.
Guys,
Cody,
you know you can pick
Cody,
the same driver if you want to.
I've had
Marty,
this
I'm
pick
going by
locked
last
in
year's
since
number. You can't.
Tuesday. I've had this pick locked in since Tuesday.
You guys can pick the same driver if you guys want to, right? We changed the rules up.
Oh, really?
Marty, I don't change rules. I go by the same rules.
All right, go ahead, Calvin. Make your pick.
I gotta pick a new one, so give me a minute.
Oh,
By the way, my fantasy live lineup this weekend, I'll actually let you guys know who it is. It's Harvick, Keselowski, Austin Dillon, Jimmy Johnson.
Austin Dillon.
Kevin Harvick.
Kelvin, who else did I say?
You had a couple. You had Casey Kane in there.
I had him as my garage driver.
Yeah, he's your.
That's
You
my
had
own.
Dylan.
I said him.
Who else did you say?
I said Keselowski and Harvick and Johnson. I had one more.
You had Kane and Dylan.
I said Dillon already. I said Kane.
I can't remember your sixth one though.
Who the heck was it? Goodness gracious. All right, who's your pick, by the way?
I'm getting it loaded up. Give me a minute.
All right. Chase Elliott, that's who it was. Yeah.
Don't worry, Marty. I won't disappoint you.
Okay, give it to me. Show me strong. Not bad.
Chase Elliott, with his dad by his side, will win this weekend.
Oh my God!
Awesome Bill from Dawsonville, Georgia, baby.
Please.
Gets his first
And
win.
Michael got his pick stolen again.
Are you kidding me? You know what? Just
That was my backup driver the whole weekend.
yeah. Gotta go back and pick a new car.
You're back up taking again.
Wait, Cody. Wait. Marty, are you going?
No.
You might as well go, cause
Are you sure?
yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna pick for this weekend. I'm gonna go with the man that had the one that got away from him last year because we can pick the same driver if we want to. I'm gonna pick Kevin Harvick to win it. However, though, if you want to do a different driver, I'm gonna go with the man that won last year. Go back to back.
Oh,
Then what's his scheme this weekend?
that orange shitty ass.
The auto trader, that orange machine, whatever it is. Brad Keselowski. If Harvick can't win, I'm picking Kez.
That was my second. That was my third pick, was Keselowski.
All right, Mr. Kelly.
I just had to run back and pick another car.
All right, this is your
Oh my
league four.
gosh.
You just set a record. That's the third one. Okay. Well, I don't want to copy people's picks. So here's what I'm going to do. Harvick is going to be my driver who dominates and blows a tire. So, yeah, there's that.
Good year.
Roasting my
he-
pick, are we?
He chokes every year at Atlanta for whatever reason. So I'm going to go with a guy who is able to capitalize off of his unfortunate situation last year with a pit road mishap. But it's not going to be the guy who finished in first. It's going to be the guy who was passed within 10 to go and finished in second. I'm going with Kyle Larson.
That was my fourth choice.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
Oh, really? Okay. I'm just trying.
My top four for this race were Harvick, Elliott, Keselowski, and then Larson.
I think Larson gets it done. I really do.
Top four for this weekend.
Oh yeah.
All right, so that's going to do it for another episode of Motorsports 360. Glad you all came with us for the ride for the past 69 minutes. We'll be back Tuesday at 8 o'clock. And I'm not doing anything. What we're going to be doing, we're going to recap the Atlanta races and talk about all the stories that happened from over the weekend.
Hey,
But Justin-
Marty.
Yeah.
Marty. How many minutes?
69.
Nice.
Favorite number.
Oh,
Nice.
Thank you, Greg Russell.
Nice.
Anyway, for Justin and Cody, for Kelvin and Michael, I am Marty saying so long. This has been Motorsports 360. Say bye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
1, 2, 3, and a dodge.
Dodge.
Dilly dilly.
Dilly dilly.
Dilly dilly.